Hello students, welcome you all to Sunya IAS. Welcome back to Top 50 Rapid Current Affairs. TFR series of the current affairs. High-yielding topics of each month had been discussed. Top 50 topics of each month we are discussing from the month of May. You can open the playlist and play it again and again. The time is, very less for this examination. Revision and consolidation should be the focus. How you are going to consolidate the whole of the syllabus, that what you have read. Don't just go on for the new information all the time. But the point is, जो भी हमने पढ़ाई की है अब तक थ्रू आउट द ईयर 1.5 ईयर हमने पढ़ाई की है, क्या हम एग्जाम में या टेस्ट सीरीज में उससे आने वाले क्वेश्चन सही कर पा रहे हैं कि नहीं, और अगर वो भी सही नहीं हो पा रहा है, व्हाट इज द रूट कॉज बिहाइंड इट. There is sometimes a kind of FOMO into the students that they want to study more and more information, but this is not the method of selection. You have to feel confident in what you have studied and you should be able to mark the right answers in the examination. After that, you can proceed to gain more and more knowledge. On top of that, sometimes questions are being formed into the test series, into the examination also, from the context of the news, why it is in the news, what government of India is planning, क्या इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस में वो चीज किस पर्सपेक्टिव से न्यूज में थी, तो फिर मैच द कॉलम में क्वेश्चन आएगा वहां से. सो उसके पेरिफेरल या फिर इन डेप्थ अंडरस्टैंडिंग पे फोकस करना है हमको. ओके, सो दिस सीरीज हाउ इट इज गोइंग ऑन, यू नो ऑल द शेड्यूल ऑफ इट, आई थिंक सो, है ना. Basically from 1 to 5, 11 to 15 and 21 to 25 of each month we discuss the current affairs in the following manner. 5 days are divided in the following manner. Like 11th March we have discussed economic development related news items. 12th March polity, governance and international relations. 13th March environment and ecology. 14th March science and technology. A lot of important things were there into the science and technology. 15th March reports, indices, defense, art and culture, miscellaneous topics, government schemes. We cover that thing. And the students who want to precisely study the current affairs for this examination, upcoming UPSC CSE 2024 prelims examination, then you can join the current affairs crash course from 19th March. It is going to be live offline in the offline Delhi center. It is already online available at website. You can visit the website www.sunyaias.com. So यहाँ से बहुत क्रिस्प तरीके से well consolidated, all the polity section at one place, economic development section at one place, government schemes at one place, science and technology, and that too science and technology has been classified into all the space domain. Sub classification of the topics have been done. पूरा का पूरा environment का current affairs sub classified into species, international agreements, legislations, protected areas, क्या क्या news में है. So you can revise it from there. Okay, so let's start. First topic is MP LADS scheme. Okay, MP LADS scheme, local area development scheme. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट स्कीम है. इससे एक बार क्वेश्चन भी आया हुआ है यूपीएससी एग्जामिनेशन में, एंड अगेन द क्वेश्चन कैन बी आस्क्ड. दिस इज समथिंग लाइक व्हाट वी कॉल एज फ्लैगशिप स्कीम्स ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. व्हाई डू वी हैव दिस लोकल एरिया डेवलपमेंट स्कीम? मोस्टली आप देखोगे कि जो गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स होती है, या तो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट मेक्स दैट स्कीम, the formulation, the designing aspect is done by them, or the state government also releases its own scheme. This scheme has unique thing, that is the members of parliament, MPs, they are elected representatives. ये लोग elected representatives है. They understand what is the local area's demand. For example, वहां पर एक bridge कंस्ट्रक्शन की जरूरत है, या फिर वहां पे एक रोड की जरूरत है, एक छोटे से स्कूल की जरूरत है, एक छोटे से अस्पताल की जरूरत है. फॉर दैट what will happen, these MPs will know the demand because they had been the elected representatives of the people trust them. So some amount of fund should be allocated to these MPs for the local areas development. Okay, students generally confuse this scheme, that Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs or Ministry of Rural Development, Ministry of Urban Development. Which ministry is going to implement this scheme? It is implemented by Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, MOSPI. MOSPI basically implements this MP LADS scheme. Okay, how does it work? Let's understand. For example, member of parliament, people came to the MP of that particular area. लोगों ने कहा कि ये प्रोजेक्ट चाहिए हमको, ये एसेट क्रिएशन चाहिए, एसेट हैज टू बी क्रिएटेड, ड्यूरेबल एसेट्स हैज टू बी क्रिएटेड. सो दे गो टू द मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट. नाउ इनटू द मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट also I'll talk about it. For example, into the Lok Sabha, क्योंकि दोनों है ना, लोक सभा एंड राज्यसभा. अगर कोई member of parliament from Lok Sabha है, then they can utilize this fund for the construction into their own constituency. If they are from Rajya Sabha, then they can be from a particular state from where they have come to represent into the Rajya Sabha. Recommend works based on local needs of the selected constituency. Member of Parliament, local needs of selected constituency. Then what will happen? They have, designed the work on the demand of the people. Now they will allocate the work to the district authorities. जो district authorities हैं वहाँ पे, ठीक है, तो वहाँ पे क्या कहते हैं, SDMs हो सकते हैं, CDPO हो सकता है ना. Sanction eligible works, select implementing agency responsible for implementation. ठीक है, तो जो भी implementation के लिए important agency है उसको हम बताएंगे district authorities. यहाँ पे bureaucracy comes into the picture. Now for that we need some funds also. पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? For that we will go to the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. MOSPI formulates MPLADS policies and release 5 crore annually in installments of 2.5 crore directly to the district authorities and establishes monitoring mechanism. पैसा जो है MP के अकाउंट में नहीं जाएगा. It will not go to MP or MP will not give it to the district authorities, but rather MOSPI will give it to the district authorities and they will utilize this money for creation of the assets. Completed and ongoing works listed on district authorities office on MPLADS platform, so that how much fund has been released and how it has been utilized till now. Citizens can file RTI related to it. They can get the information that what work had been going on, how much work has been completed already. Okay. Now, there is also a provision of, we call it social assessment or auditing. You have to assess that how much project has been completed, and there is a word called as social auditing. Even in Manrega schemes we find that social auditing is there. MPs are to recommend every year works consisting of at least 15% of MPLADS. ठीक है, 15% of the MPLADS entitlement for the every year for areas inhabited by scheduled caste population and 7.5% for inhabited by scheduled tribe population. So ये भी एक clause है कि हम scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, even if you do not know the percentages, at least remember it is they have to allocate certain fund inhabited by scheduled caste and scheduled tribe populations, and minimum 10% of the projects, at least 10% of the projects, social audit has to be done or has to be verified on the ground. I hope this is clear to you all. Carbon credit trading scheme. Carbon credit trading scheme. Now this scheme is a step forward in the direction of decarbonizing the economy. We have huge targets, okay, of the UNFCCC's nationally determined contributions. So carbon trading we are talking about here. Okay, so just understand carbon credit trading. जब भी हम कार्बन क्रेडिट की बात करते हैं तो एक और चीज स्टूडेंट्स मिस्टेक करते हैं. वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इक्विवेलेंट्स. Okay, carbon dioxide equivalents. It does not mean that only and only carbon dioxide we are talking here about. For example, there are two, emitters, emitter A and emitter B. Two emitters are there. So क्या होगा, हम regulatory mechanism के through we will fix a line, baseline, this line, allocated greenhouse gas emission units. This has been allocated to them कि इतना आप release कर सकते हो CO2 equivalents into the atmosphere. This much can be released by them. This limit has been allocated to them. जैसे यहाँ पे हम emitter A, emitter B in terms of industries or institutions we are talking about. Similarly, it is also allocated at the national levels also. To different countries, certain allocations had been there. Therefore, international trade amongst the countries will also be regulated like that. Okay. So what will happen that, for example, emitter A had exceeded the limit by certain amount. This red line shows you this thing that it has exceeded its carbon dioxide equivalent production. Therefore, now the extra amount of CO2 that it has produced, it has to buy certain carbon credits from the institution which has reduced GHG emissions, which emitter B has reduced. Now emitter B को कुछ research and development करना पड़ा होगा, New equipments they have to put in place. Costly hogi wo technologies. They are putting more funds to it. Whereas, for example, it could be a thermal power station. Fossil gas production is, increasing. They are not using catalytic converters or scrubbers for that matter. That price they have to pay as a cross subsidizing for reducing greenhouse gas emissions by the emitter B. ये पॉइंट हमको दिमाग में याद रखना है. So similarly, tomorrow they will find it, a very good method of reducing the GHG greenhouse gas production to the allocated greenhouse gas units itself. वो ज़्यादा exceed नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि उनको incentive नहीं मिल रहा है अब, है ना? And they are being incentivized for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. This is called as carbon credit trading scheme. And this is how offset credit. We have to offset the extra production of CO2 by the carbon credits where it has been reduced. So this mechanism has been introduced by Ministry of Power, not by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Okay, Energy Conservation Act has been amended. Okay, Energy Conservation Amendment Bill. Got this point? So something related to carbon credits. स्टूडेंट्स देखो क्वेश्चन हो सकता है यहां से डायरेक्टली आए, हो सकता है इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस कंसेप्ट, इस कंसेप्ट का कोई व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय कार्बन क्रेडिट्स, ऑफन सीन इन न्यूज, दे वुड आस्क दैट. How do you define it? If you understand the process, how this purchase and sale mechanism will work into the carbon market, what do you understand by the carbon market? So these kind of questions will be asked in the examination. Carbon offsetting and reduction scheme for international aviation. देख लो decarbonization के लिए across the industries we are going. Into the aviation sector also we are going over here. Okay. So यहाँ पर क्या है, long term aspirational goals, L tags what we say. इंडिया ने कहा कि हम developing economy है. We are a developing economy. We have not yet exhausted a good amount of CO2 fossil burning as the developed nations have already exhausted post industrial revolution. Therefore, into the first phase that is called as pilot phase, India is not at all participating. India is saying that into the long term aspirational goals, we will be part of it. Long term we are visualizing it. अभी हमें fossil burn करने दो और air turbine fuel बंद करने दो. अभी हम civil aviation में नहीं जा सकते हैं. Civil aviation में decarbonize. Right now we cannot proceed into it. Okay. So basically this was discussed. This process was discussed at the International Civil Aviation Organization's meeting, and its headquarters is in Chicago. With Chicago Convention, it has been formed. Okay, headquarters Montreal, Canada. Pardon. 41st ICAO Assembly adopted LTAG, Net Zero Carbon Emissions by 2050. India का net zero carbon emission target है 2070. By 2047, we will be a Viksit Bharat or developed India. So 2050 is the target of LTAG. India is soon going to participate into it. But in the pilot phase, India did not participate. Okay. This phase is also first phase. It's a voluntary phase. Okay. Post this second phase, after the first phase, 27 to 2035, India may be participating into it. Getting this point? And which organization from India would have participated in the 41st ICAO Assembly? It is Ministry of Civil Aviation. Next scheme is GOAL program, Going Online as Leaders program. CSR word हम सबने सुना होगा, Corporate Social Responsibility. India became the first country to make it mandatory as a CSR, although it's a very philanthropic concept, corporate social responsibility. It should not be made mandatory, by the way, by the law. So Ministry of Tribal Affairs, ठीक है, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ गोल प्रोग्राम. देखो ये सब वर्ड्स आते हैं एग्जाम में, एक्रोनिम बेस्ड गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स. दे विल आस्क यू गोल प्रोग्राम ऑफन सीन इन न्यूज इज रिलेटेड टू व्हाट. It is related to the youth for promoting them to participate into international Olympics. Something like that, these options would be there. But it is Going Online as Leaders program. Is a joint initiative of the Facebook India with Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Facebook India जो है वो corporate social responsibility के तहत Ministry of Tribal Affairs to provide mentorship to tribal youth through digital mode. उनको mentorship देंगे, उनको skills देंगे, उनको leaders बनाएंगे so that they can be we can have more and more leaders into the tribal. Aims to digitally upskill 10 lakh youth from tribal communities and open up opportunities for them using digital technologies. It will create a platform for self-help groups. and families associated with TriFed, Tribal Cooperative Marketing Development Federation of India, to take their products global सेल हो सके और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा उसकी अच्छी मार्केटिंग हो सके और वो अपने बिजनेस में एंटरप्रेन्योर्स बन पाए, नॉट जस्ट सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड इनटू इट. स्पेशल डेवलपमेंट काउंसिल्स इनिशिएटिव, ये किसका इनिशिएटिव है? ओडिशा गवर्नमेंट का. ये याद रखना, ओडिशा गवर्नमेंट. कभी कभी कोई स्कीम देकर के डायरेक्टली विद स्टेट, ओडिशा हैज बीन लॉन्चिंग वेरी गुड स्कीम्स. ओके, very good schemes, not just in for the tribal sectors but into agriculture sector as well. It aims to preserve and promote tribal culture while ensuring economic development. अब देखोगे ये दोनों contrast में है. Into ethics you would be reading that it is a very difficult thing to achieve. Economic development के लिए हमको tribal communities की mainstreaming करनी पड़ेगी. We want to bring them into the mainstream. And as soon as you want to bring them into the mainstream directly, therefore you are going to question about their nativities, their native cultures, their traditionalities. Therefore we want to promote and preserve the tribal culture. Society का भी एक बहुत important point into your mains as well, along with ensuring economic development. This will become a case study. An active effort to preserve the culture and heritage of 62 tribes in the state under one umbrella while keeping economic development on course in the regions. Special Development Councils is a completely state-funded program, not being funded by the central government, not centrally sponsored scheme, not central sector scheme, completely state-funded program by the Odisha government. Okay, let's talk about certain things into defense. Now students, what will happen into the news items while consolidation? You need to understand how what I am talking about consolidation. जब हम पढ़ रहे होते हैं, you will see that a new missile is into the news. We read something about the missile, but we do not know the holistic picture. What kinds of missiles are there? Sometimes we'll read that this is a cruise missile. Sometimes we will read that it is a ballistic missile. Okay. पहले समझना होगा कि 1982-83 में why we call Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam as the missile man of India, because he launched a program called as Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, IGMDP, where we wanted to develop different kinds of missiles being classified as cruise and ballistic missiles. मिसाइल के दो फंक्शन होते हैं, बहुत बेसिकली आप समझ सकते हो. एक फंक्शन है अटैक करने का, विच वी ऑल नो मिसाइल्स आर देयर टू अटैक. Both the missiles can be used to attack, cruise missile as well as ballistic missiles. Both the missiles can be used to attack. दूसरा मिसाइल का काम होता है, कोई अगर incoming missile is coming, so to intercept it, to diffuse that attack. Okay, so that will work as defense mechanism into the missile sector. Here we have two classifications, एक्सो एटमोस्फेरिक एंड इंडो एटमोस्फेरिक. जो मिसाइल है वो एक्सो एटमोस्फेरिक भी आ सकती है और इंडो एटमोस्फेरिक भी आ सकती है. सो पृथ्वी एयर डिफेंस सिस्टम एंड अश्विन एयर डिफेंस सिस्टम. सो दो हमने सिस्टम बनाए हुए हैं जिसके तहत हम मिसाइल्स डेवलप करते हैं. ओके, एक्सो एटमोस्फेरिक एंड इंडो एटमोस्फेरिक. Into this IGMDP program, you will find different kinds of 5 missiles. You can remember this with the help of an acronym also, PATNA. ओके, पृथ्वी, आकाश. देखो, पृथ्वी मिसाइल, सरफेस टू सरफेस शॉर्ट रेंज बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल, सरफेस टू सरफेस. आकाश, मीडियम रेंज सरफेस टू एयर, दिस इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज सैम, सरफेस टू एयर मिसाइल, सैम. नाग, फायर एंड फॉगेट एंटी टैंक मिसाइल है. ये एक एंटी टैंक, अगर कोई टैंक से अटैक हो रहा है तो उसके लिए एंटी टैंक मिसाइल है, थर्ड जनरेशन फायर एंड फॉगेट मिसाइल. त्रिशूल, शॉर्ट रेंज लो लेवल सरफेस टू एयर मिसाइल, शॉर्ट रेंज की है, लो लेवल सरफेस टू एयर मिसाइल. इंटरमीडिएट रेंज सरफेस टू सरफेस मिसाइल, अग्नि. अब हम अग्नि में और इवोल्यूशन करते जा रहे हैं एंड यू विल फाइंड लॉट ऑफ डेवलपमेंट इनटू द पिक्चर ऑफ अग्नि मिसाइल्स. सो दिस इज द मैनर यू शुड बी रिवाइजिंग द करंट अफेयर्स. अग्नि 1, अग्नि 2, अग्नि 3, अग्नि 4, अग्नि 5. नाउ वी आर एट द लेवल ऑफ अग्नि 5 मिसाइल. ठीक है स्टूडेंट्स, अग्नि 5 का जो डेवलपमेंट है वो बहुत क्रूशियल है, बिकॉज अब हम इंटर कॉन्टिनेंटल बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल, वी हैड बीन टॉकिंग अबाउट ballistic missiles. Okay, ballistic missiles basically take a parabolic path. Okay, cruise missiles are terrain hugging missiles. वो बहुत ही जमीन से लग के जाते हैं cruise missiles. They have comparatively short range in comparison to ballistic missiles, of course. If I say intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, okay, यहाँ पे हमारा अग्नि जो है क्लास वो बहुत बेटर है. एंड किसी भी मिसाइल की रेंज इफ इट इज गोइंग टू क्रॉस मोर देन 5000 किलोमीटर्स, इट इज कॉल्ड एज इंटरकॉन्टिनेंटल. मतलब एक कॉन्टिनेंट से दूसरे कॉन्टिनेंट पे हम फायर कर सकते हैं. इंटरकॉन्टिनेंटल बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल्स. लेट्स लुक एट इट अ लिटिल बिट. अग्नि, इट्स एन इंटरकॉन्टिनेंटल सरफेस टू सरफेस न्यूक्लियर कैपेबल बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल डेवलप्ड बाय DRDO. न्यूक्लियर कैपेबल मींस एक होता है कन्वेंशनल, एक होता है न्यूक्लियर कैपेबल. सो कन्वेंशनल अम्यूनिशंस that can use, but also it can use न्यूक्लियर कैपेबल. एट प्रेजेंट कितने कंट्रीज के पास है? 7 कंट्रीज. US, चाइना, रशिया, यूके, फ्रांस, इजराइल आर नोन टू हैव ICBMs. It has been equipped with very high accuracy ring laser gyro based inertial navigation system and micro navigation systems. Means RINS and MINS technologies हैं. ठीक है, I'm not dwelling here right now detail. ठीक है, in the class we'll understand that also. अग्नि 5, देखो अग्नि 5 इज इंपॉर्टेंट एंड इसके साथ ही एक अग्नि प्राइम है. ये थोड़ा डिफरेंट मिसाइल्स हैं. अंडरस्टैंड स्टूडेंट्स, अग्नि प्राइम पे वी कैन एक्सपेक्ट अ क्वेश्चन. यूजेस 3 स्टेज सॉलिड फ्यूल इंजन. तीनों स्टेज सॉलिड फ्यूल होते हैं उसके. द मिसाइल हैज अ रेंज ऑफ मोर देन 7000 किलोमीटर्स. अग्नि 5 की समय रेंज मोर देन 7000 किलोमीटर्स है. एंड दिस प्रोवाइड्स अस अ डिटरेंस अगेंस्ट एनिमीज in case of a nuclear warfare. It gives us the second strike capability. We have completed the nuclear triad right now. Okay, INS Arihant के बाद से. Okay, Agni Prime, new generation nuclear capable medium range ballistic missile is between 1000 to 2000 kilometers. 1000 to 2000 kilometers. Agni Prime की तुम देखो रेंज कम है, लेकिन टेक्नोलॉजी हम Agni 5 वाली यूज करेंगे. Solid filled missile, this was also solid filled missile, weighs 50% less than Agni 3 also. Agni 3 से भी 50% weight कम है इसका. So what happens at the border areas, for example, with respect to the Pakistan, with respect to the China, in case of any warfare, even if we are not going to deploy it with the nuclear weapons, conventional weapon will be using over there. But in that case also, it is good for us to use. Due to its long range, this missile can be used to target enemy armadas in the Indo-Pacific regions also. Since it is a canistered missile, it can be launched from rail and road also. These are the benefits Agni Prime is going to put forward. Okay. Let's look at certain sculptures into the news. Into the history, into the static portion, you will go and match these sculptures, because in the history portion, you people had been studying most of the sculptures. I'm just going to take the name of few that you can revise. Dwarpal, Vijayanagar dynasty, Mundareshwar Mudayar temple. So Vijayanagar dynasty में द्वारपालास were there, है ना. ऐसे क्वेश्चंस यूपीएससी पूछ रही है. नटराज टेम्पल, डिपिक्शन ऑफ शिवा, आनंद तांडव और डांस ऑफ ब्लिस. डिपिक्शन ऑफ शिवा, आनंद तांडव और डांस ऑफ ब्लिस, नटराज टेम्पल. In the mains, UPSC has already asked the question related to Nataraja. Kankal Murti, Lord Shiva and Bhairava. Kankal Murti, you understand Bhairava, because Kankal means the bones, skeletons would be there. 4 armed holding Ayudhas for fighting. Nandikeshwar, bronze image of Nandikeshwar. Okay, it was also into a temple, Nandikeshwar image. 4 armed Vishnu, later Chola period it has been found. Goddess Parvati, Chola period sculpture, Goddess Parvati. Standing child Samandar, child saint, one of the movers, stolen from Saneshwar temple, Nagapattinam. So Nagapattinam style of temples had been very famous. Into your ancient history, you would be reading about it. So standing child Samandar, that had been into the news. Certain handicrafts, Koftgari art from Rajasthan. From the Mughal times it is famous. Decorated arms and weaponry, Jaipur and Udaipur. Kishangarh painting they have asked. है ना? Kishangarh painting. So match the column. Paintings also they are asking. Certain handicrafts. Kutch embroidery. Like if I talk about chicken curry, it is famous from the city of Nawabs, that is Lucknow. This is Kutch embroidery. Tribal community of Kutch district in Gujarat. It has also GI tag. Pashmina shawl everyone knows. सब लोग खरीदने जाते हैं, किसी को नहीं मिलती है, सब कहते हैं कि हम आई हैव बॉट द ओरिजिनल, बट सब लोग कहते हैं कि देन इट इज कि ये नकली वाली मिल गई है आपको. पश्मीना शॉल डिफिकल्ट टू गेट फ्रॉम जम्मू एंड कश्मीर, मेड ऑफ फाइन शतूश और पश्मीना वुल ऑफ जीआई. इट हैज आल्सो जीआई टैग. कश्मीर पेपियर माशे. मीर सैयद अली हमदानी फ्रॉम पर्शिया इन द 14th century to medieval India. Kashmir paper mache, paper pulp basically, and is a richly decorated colorful artifact. Paper pulp से ही बनता है ये. Dokra also very famous from Chhattisgarh. Dokra is a non-ferrous metal casting craft using lost wax technique. ये lost wax technique हड़प्पन टाइम से चल रही है, देख रहे हो. lost wax technique हड़प्पन टाइम्स में भी जो हमको सील्स मिल रहे थे लॉस्ट वैक्स टेक्निक से बन रहे थे. एंड डोकरा आर्ट इन छत्तीसगढ़ राइट नाउ इज आल्सो यूजिंग दिस काइंड ऑफ टेक्निक्स. सो दीज क्वेश्चंस कुड बी आस्क्ड इन द एग्जामिनेशन. So guys, thank you. Keep revising, keep consolidating, and all the best for the preparation. Let's meet soon. Thank you.